Before we get into the actual topic of the video, I wanted to take a look at Monday's box office. This tweet dropped last night, and I thought that there were some interesting numbers here. Elemental at number 5, Indie at number 4, Insidious 5 at number 3, and then surprisingly, Sound of Freedom at number 2 with 4.5 million, Mission Impossible at number 1 with 5.3 million. Look at how close Sound of Freedom is to Mission Impossible 7. That's wild. This movie's probably going to make, I don't know what to say on it. I predicted 100 million, which I thought was pretty damn good, but the way things are going with this movie, you could maybe easily see 150 if it keeps having legs like it is. Dare I say 200 million? I don't know. 150, though, I think is possible. But let's get into the movie coming out this weekend. The movie that's predicted to take number 1, Barbie, with an 89% critic score, which means critics love it. Top critics, 88. Critics like it. What's the audience score going to land at? This movie could become protected, though, so we'll have to check Metacritic as well. But I'm not surprised by some of the reactions. Let me show you some of the headlines on this movie, and let's talk about if it's something that you would want to see. So Margot Robbie, by the way, not the best box office draw lately. The past couple of movies that she's put out have not done that well, particularly Birds of Prey, which was a pretty hyper-woke movie, by the way. I don't know why she keeps trying to attach herself to all this woke shit, but that's what she feels she needs to do, I guess. Let's take a look at see what some of these critics are saying. Here's one of my favorites. Barbie is a 2-hour wokeathon brimming with feminist lectures and nuclear-level rage against men. That's funny. Here's one right here from World of Real. Critic weighs in on Barbie. If you take a tequila shot every time the patriarchy is mentioned, you will die. Well, that sure is quite the motivator to go see this movie, isn't it? You know, no wonder Grace Randolph enjoyed this movie so much. It all starts to make sense now, doesn't it? Here's my favorite. Barbie gets weaponized. This is from the National Review. Why does it get weaponized? Well, it's more so a commentary on patriarchy and the treatment of women, because, you know, they're so mistreated in 2023. Ken, by the way, turns into a crazy ex-boyfriend. People were predicting that he was going to be the villain of the movie. They nailed it. He basically becomes the villain. That's the messaging that I'm getting through a lot of these reviews. So, of course, he becomes an abusive, emotionally abusive ex-boyfriend, trying to stop her, and becomes Ken Douchebag, as one reviewer put it not so subtly. Ken Douchebag. So that's where we're at with this one. And we've got this. Barbie takes aim at the patriarchy. This was posted yesterday. Of course she does. I mean, this is not a shocker. Written by Gerwig and her husband, filmmaker Noah Baumbach. Barbie works in broad story strokes, which allows Gerwig to experiment with style and humor, creating a safe space for their pointed commentary on patriarchy, misogyny, and perfectionism. These concepts don't exist in the Barbie land, a girl utopia and true Barbiearchy, where only Barbies sit on the Supreme Court with Nobel Prizes and get to be president. And then, of course, Barbie can't do anything, and he's just Ken. Now, that's why Ken becomes a douchebag. So the world is perfect in Barbie land. It's all ran by women. There's no misogyny. And then they get out. Ken gets corrupted by society and becomes a misogynist and loves the patriarchy, all that shit. And it's just, what a joke. What a joke. Woke Barbie drowns in feminism lectures. Margot Robbie, Ryan Gosling can't save story captured by man-hating agenda. Shocking. Look at this rotten review, too, by the way. This is a rotten review. I want to point that out. Talks about how it's scratching something by talking about the easy ride mediocre men have in the world. But it also ignores the bigger ironies that the movie only comes alive as Ken gains some agency. So it's a movie about how men have it easy, which is bullshit. Higher side rates, what? A hamster wheel of relentless identity crisis. Musical numbers, tears, tantrums, bland feminist speeches, questionable acting from the huge cast, and Ken suddenly turns into a deranged ex-boyfriend. These are the rotten reviews, by the way. I want to point that out to you here. These people all said it sucked. For the first 30 minutes or so, Barbie is a fun, featherweight satire. Then the stuff about patriarchy kicks in, and the film turns into a thinly disguised #MeToo rant, trading comedy for man-bashing and a lot of confused point scoring about sexism. I don't think really need to go into these anymore. But it's just funny, like, I'm curious to how this will perform. Critics love it. It's woke. These are the rotten reviews. Of course, the critics are praising it. They love all this woke shit. But some of them, like New York Post, Time, Wall Street Journal, New York Magazine, Vulture, The Sun hated it. They hated the bland feminist speeches and Ken turning into a deranged ex-boyfriend. Everyone that said he was going to become the villain they were spot on. So, how will this movie perform? Well, it's supposed to bring in 100-something million. And then I would expect it to have a drop at the box office the next week. Because no one has cracked the woke code yet, making a funny, entertaining, woke movie. And you could put a sexy woman at the front with Margot Robbie, and I don't think it's going to really help save the movie. Maybe I'll be wrong, though. Maybe this will be the first successful woke movie ever. Hopefully Oppenheimer surprises and people actually go and see that instead of this bullshit. But, the society of today. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about this. I'm sure none of you are shocked. But let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on this. Also, if you would, please like, subscribe, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit my notification bell. And check out my Rumble and Locals. See you on the next one. Peace. Make sure to check out my Locals. There's a link in the description. It's a fun community that I'm trying to build over here. If you don't want to support me on YouTube, you can come over here. None of that money goes to YouTube. You also can just come over here for free. But if you are a supporter over here, I do plan on doing an extra live stream once a month and throwing links to the supporters so you can actually come on and have a supporter live stream with me. Also, it's a good place to catch all of my content. You don't have to worry about notifications like YouTube. They'll definitely work over here. So come check out my Locals.